And welcome. Thank you so much for joining us on our demo day. We're very happy to have you both here on campus, but also on our live platforms. So for those of you who are joining us online, feel free to introduce yourself in the chat or in the comment section. We would love to know who you are and where you're from. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Manon, and I'm the Events and Community Associate here at Wagon Montreal. And today is a very exciting day. Not only is it the biggest demo day Wagon Montreal has ever seen, with 4 batches graduating, 12 incredible projects created, and 48 students who have just completed their journey here. Yeah. But today, we're also celebrating all of the hard work and dedication that the students have put into the final projects that you're about to see tonight. So let's give them a huge round of applause to congratulate them and to encourage them for what's coming next. So like I said, in a couple of minutes, our students are going to pitch the projects that they have worked on in teams over the last weeks of their bootcamp. But before we start, let me introduce Le Wagon to those of you who don't know us. So we're an international coding school, and we provide our students with the skill sets that they need to upgrade their job, change their career, or even launch their own startup in the tech industry. So Le Wagon originally started in Paris in 2013, and we now have more than 40 campuses around the world, more than 21,000 alumni, and more than 210 startups have been launched by some of those alumni. So we're very, very proud of this community, and it's part of what makes us the #1 ranked bootcamp worldwide. Like I said, we teach our students technical skills, and we do this through 3 different boot camps. So we have one in web development, where our students are going to learn about software development and how to build web apps from scratch. We have one in data science, where our students are going to learn about Python, machine learning, data engineering, and how to build AI products from scratch. And we have our 3rd boot camp, which is on data analytics, where our students are going to learn how to understand data and how to create and automate visual dashboards. We offer these boot camps in 2 different formats. We have the full-time boot camp. It's over 9 weeks, and our students are on campus from Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then we have the part-time boot camp, which is spread out over 24 weeks. And our students have classes every Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. and every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. So tonight, the students all come from very diverse academical, cultural, and professional backgrounds. Some have just finished universities, some have been working in fields related to tech, while some have been working in fields completely unrelated to tech. What they do have in common, though, is that they all took the challenge of learning new hands-on technical skills in a very short period of time. So once this is over, some of them might become developers, some might work in a data science role, some might freelance, some might work in a tech-related role like product management or consulting, and some might even launch their own startup. They took on the very hard challenge of coding what you're about to see in a very short period of time, especially since most of them had little to no background in programming before they started the bootcamp. So let's get right into it. We have 12 incredible projects to showcase and 48 students who are both excited and, let's be honest, counting down the seconds until this is all over. So let's kick off the night with the data science products. The students in the data science curriculum, they put an incredible amount in effort in learning how to explore, clean, and transform data, and how to implement machine learning models. So up first, we have Kids and Tech, which is a product that helps educate children on computer basics. So let's welcome James, Sebastian, Josée, Emilie, and Michael.
Good evening, everyone. I am James Declerus, and I am from Haiti. I am with my colleague Michel here. Wonderful night. Talking about Haiti, imagine you are growing up in a place where there is no computer, and this middle of 21st century, even no access to internet. Maybe some of you might even die, isn't it? That was my reality. The first time I saw a computer, I was 14 years old. I need to admit that I was excited about it. So, you have that thing, you can communicate with people everywhere. I was really happy. This experience with a computer, for little I can remember from it, it will first change my life, and second, set me and empower me as a leader that will one day contribute in bridging the digital gap of my country, my dear country. Over the past 4 years, I start a journey as a computer lab coordinator with the goal to build and establish computer lab in rural areas of Haiti. And there are 3 things that I realized. First, it is computer illiteracy. Most of the rural kids, they know nothing about digital basics, computer basics, I mean. The second thing is, in those rural areas, there is no internet access. And the third one, which is very important, a lack of tech talent. As we are building computer lab, even if you have the computer lab established, but you don't have tech talent to mentor and lead the kids. And I started to think about that. And on May 3rd, I moved here to finish the boot camp, and I met a wonderful team. And with the help of the teacher here at Wagon, we come with a product, Kids in Tech, an AI that teaches kids the computer basic using images. How do we come with that product? The team, we have to go to Google, download a lot of images because we did not find that asset. And we established that asset, and we use that asset to train a model that performs with a very good accuracy. And we use that model to classify the images, the computer components. So, welcome to Kids in Tech. As I told you earlier, I saw a computer for the first time at 14 years old. So tonight, I would like to back on my 14th, and with Kids in Tech, introduce myself to computer basics, computer literacy. There are 2 buttons here. There is a quiz and a prediction button. So as a kid, I really like challenges and play a lot. So let me start with the quiz part. Okay, so my first challenge here is to select the keyboard. I don't know what the keyboard is, so let me guess. Let me start with the first image. Oh no, it doesn't work. I have a warning. I need to try again, but they say this is a monitor. Wow, that's good. So now let me try with the other side, the second one. All right, thank you, Kids in Tech. So Kids in Tech provide me with the right image, and it provides me with the description and definition of the keyboard and exactly what it does. So let me try another one. I like challenge. A keyboard again. Okay, that's good. So I know what the keyboard is. Let me take the third one. Okay, the same thing, definition. So this appeared to be random. Earlier I surfed on the keyboard, on the desktop. I saw something. It's a little box with a gray color and a black head, but I did not know what it is. Maybe Kids in Tech can help. Let's see that. Okay. So let's have the picture. And Kids in Tech can help me to know what the name is. All right, that's a DVD reader. Thank you, Kids in Tech. So yes, now the 14-year-old James can learn computer basics using Kids in Tech. I can play, or if I have a component I don't know the name, Kids in Tech is here to answer my question. What next? As I told you, we are dealing with rural kids. In Haiti, we have 2 official languages, Creole and French. So most of the population speaks French. So we want to translate all the resources into Haitian Creole and French as well. And as you can see here, we just have 4 components. We want to expand our data set, continue to download images, and so that we can provide the kid with more image they can learn from. And as well, we don't have internet connection. We want to make the app performs offline so that the kids can access it without an internet connection. Thank you to my team. It was a challenge. Thank you to you, everyone. Thank you to my team. And I want to thank all the teachers who help us during that journey and the whole Wagon team. And thank you to you for coming here to assist what we have worked on. Thank you so much.
Great job. Okay, now, if you have grandparents like mine who always are mixing up their pills, you're going to love Pill Pick, which is a product that helps you recognize your pills, created by Paul, Morgane, Ninad, and Pierre.
I didn't know we were making this for your grandparents. I would have added that to my presentation. All right. Well, hello, everybody. Bonjour. Hi, as we say in Montreal. Today, I'm going to present to you Pill Pick. Pill Pick is an application created with deep learning that allows you to recognize pills with the snap of a photo from your smartphone. So, we created Pill Pick with 3 goals in mind: supporting clinical diagnosis, reducing medical errors, and finally, increasing healthcare accuracy. So, imagine the following scenario. An EMT arrives on scene, sees somebody passed out on the floor. Passed out on the floor. I like to talk with my hands, I'm sorry, it's very difficult. Passed out on the floor, medication all over. Snaps a pic, quickly recognizes that it's heart medication. Okay, this person has heart problems, much more rapid, much more informed medical diagnosis. Additionally, unlike existing pharmaceutical apps that require the user to manually input information, let's say red, green, imprint K53, PillPick leverages AI technology that allows people who are impaired, especially visually impaired persons, to simply snap a picture and hear the machine tell them with audio that this is, let's say, Advil. Finally, because we have very detailed databases curated by pharmacists, this is actually true, you get detailed warnings, for instance, when taking medication with heart problems, while pregnant, nursing, or with allergies. So PillPick really increases your access to healthcare education. So, yeah, so PillPick, snap a photo, know the pill. All right, great. I'm going to hand you guys off to my friend and colleague Ninad, and he's going to walk you through the details of this process.
So now that we know what PillPick does, let's see how it works behind the scenes. To start, what we did is we took videos of all the pills that we had in our possession from different angles, different lighting conditions, and different distances, and then frame by frame converted them into images. Then, at the end, we ended up with about tens of thousands of images in total. So we then feed these images to the first model, which is a state-of-the-art image detection model that essentially creates a bounding box around the pill, and then we crop out the pill from the image. Essentially, we want to remove everything that's in the background of the image, and basically this helps streamline the next model, which is a very powerful neural network. This second model will basically take the image and classify it among all the images that we have in our training data set. Now that we've identified the pill, we're going to link it up with a final data set containing all sorts of information that we think is relevant and important to feed back to the main user. And that's pretty much how it works. Pretty simple, right? Yeah. So now we're going to do a live demo and hopefully show you how it works. My colleague Morgane was having a headache earlier today, and the issue with Morgane is she has a lot of allergies. She really can't eat anything at all. So what you can do is in the preferences, specify lots of interesting things about yourself. So age, gender, etc. And one of the things that she's going to specify is any allergies. She wants to make sure that all the ingredients in the pill don't contain anything that could harm her. So right now she's just going to add some quick ingredients, and we're going to move on. La-di-da-di-da. She's going to save the preferences now. And with a quick flash, feels safe, and we're gonna move up and take an image of the pill. So ideally, you would take this on your smartphone. We made it so it works on your smartphone, but for the purposes of our presentation, we have to use the laptop phone. And as you can see, it is quite a struggle. She's pretty good at it though, not bad. So she's just gonna close the preferences tab now, and we can see that the pill that she uploaded was the Oflow test tablet with a 99.9% probability. Alongside, we see all the preferences that you can see, such as warnings, precautions, any indications that you need, the dosage and administration, contraindications, and since we signified that she is pregnant and has kids, she doesn't, but we can see these specified settings right here. And if we go all the way up, we can see ingredients, the 2 main ingredients, and she isn't really allergic to this because a pop-up would show up if she was. So she can take this pill and hopefully relieve her headache. So now I'm going to hand the mic back to Paul, just to finish off our presentation.
Thank you, Naded. So if you guys have any desire to learn more about the statistics we presented to you today, they are real. There's a $100 billion problem. Please look at our references. Also, we're very, very excited for you to use our QR code, visit our website, use all our data and free credits up on Google Cloud Run, and try out PillPick today. We have pills for you. We're going to give you pills, free pills. All right, thank you, everybody.
All right, amazing job. Now, please let's welcome Eric, Mohammad, Andrew, and Matt, who created Post to Personality, which is a product that predicts personality types from social media activity.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming today. Our product is Post to Personality, a social media analyzer. Our team, Matt, Eric, Mohammad, and myself, Andrew. Now, why do we care about analyzing personalities? Maybe it's a BuzzFeed quiz about which Harry Potter house you belong to, or maybe the MBTI type test. We take personality tests all the time. But we kind of nail it down to 2 reasons. 1, to connect with yourself better. And 2, to connect with others even closer. How we use language is a reflection of our personality. Specifically, in the research we found, extroverts tend to use second-person dialogue more. Mostly, can you do this, you do that. While introverts use a bit more abstract concepts, like, for example, maybe sometimes, perhaps, can we maybe go on a date, I don't know. Something like that. But ultimately, our presentation and our product is about finding out how to do this in a quicker, more efficient way. That is, we're going to use the language we put down in social media to determine our personality types. Now, figuring out personality, it's a little abstract, so we decided to nail it down to the MBTI type exam. Now, I don't know if any of you all know this, but it's the type with 4 letters, ENTP, something like that, that's mine. 16 different types. It's been around for 50 years. I actually had to take one for my work. Anyone in here have to take one for their work or ever take this in their life? Anyone know any ENTJs out there? No? Okay, well. But ultimately, this we decided to be our class, the thing we're looking to predict. And the model we built for this, for Post to Personality, is a natural language processing model using revolutionary technology to take in the words you put in and then strain them into numbers, filter them down into something that computers can properly understand. We then train that on 100,000 different Reddit users and their personality types so that we can ultimately take the language you put down in social media and determine with 85% accuracy your MBTI type. So why not take a demo of this guy? Maybe you've heard of a little guy named Goodwill Hunting, otherwise known as Matt Damon, and he has a Reddit account. So let's try and find out if he's an introvert or extrovert at the very least. Now, before we get too crazy, who here thinks Matt Damon is an introvert? Yeah, anyone? Okay, everyone else thinks he's an extrovert, right? Okay, very excited. We're putting in Matt Damon's official, authentic Reddit account on our beautiful Google Cloud website here, and we're gonna analyze it. Turns out he is an ISTJ, an introvert. Matt Damon, the responsible realist. How cool is that? Not only do we get a breakdown of his type, we also get a breakdown of his strengths and weaknesses, how they are at their best, ISTJs, and stress. We get a little bit of everything, so we can connect a little bit closer with, in this instance, Matt Damon. So let's try another person. Someone you may have heard of. I don't know. Elon Musk, he's got a Reddit account. Let's try his, yeah? Does anyone in here think Elon Musk is an introvert? Raise your hand, please, please. We want to know. This is a competition now. Now, is Elon Musk an extrovert? Anyone else? Yeah? Yeah, okay. Okay, we'll see. Based off of what he's typed into Reddit, if Elon Musk, he's an extrovert. ESTJ. How about that? The efficient organizer. Does that sound right? It's right by 85% accuracy in our eyes. Now, next up, we try and figure out actually what are bigger applications of this. You know, not just for finding out about yourself, but maybe we could try it with different social media platforms, such as Twitter or Facebook. Or imagine Instagram posts, pictures. We turn that into numbers, and we decide and figure out what your MBTI type is based off of that. But what about real-world options? Things for business and the like. Well, for instance, we can get a better connection with our user bases. We can control our platform in a way that is complementary to the personality type of our users. What about maybe a more simple idea? What about dating? We could like make a super powerful app that just connects people based off their personalities. I don't know, there's a market for that. Sure. We got ChatGPT. What if we use our model to help personalize AI chatbots so that we can better understand and work with the user in a better, more efficient way? The standard right now in tech is personalization. Let's go one step further and make connection. And speaking of connection, we offer you to connect with us. Please try out our app right now. See what type you are. Thank you very much.
All right, now we have Rafael, and Lucas, who are joining us from Brazil tonight. And they worked on fertility and education predictive analysis, which is a product that helps and learns and predicts countries that are growing faster than others. Congrats.
Impact on a country, like socioeconomic and raising awareness impacts. For example, we will see that underdeveloped countries have higher fertility rates but lower education rates.
Can you wait? Can you wait?
Yeah.
Okay, can you start it again?
Okay.
Sorry for that.
Good evening, everyone. Today, me and my group will present to you our project about fertility and education, predictive analysis. To start off, fertility and education are two subjects that have great impact on a country, like socioeconomic and raising awareness impacts. For example, we will see that underdeveloped countries have higher fertility rates but lower education rates, and that developed countries are the opposite. So based on this, we decided to research for anything that contains data about these terms on the internet, fertility and education. But we actually were surprised and found out that there is no website that shows their values over the years. So that was a turning point that made us, first of all, create this project. We, as a group, decided that the main objective we would try to reach is to share this type of data with people. We will create a website where people can see these values with ease for every year we have, and see the predicted values for the years we don't have yet. And this became a long journey. So, after understanding what the objective was, what is fertility and education for this project? Education will be used as the average schooling years by person per country, and fertility, different from natality, is the amount of children born per woman. Because this project would be hard and would need use of many instruments and would also need something that could predict, we chose Facebook Profit. But how does it work? It's simple. It's an open source algorithm made for data scientists created by Facebook that deals with time series problems, using a lot of historical and seasonal data to get a forecast for any future data you might want to see. First, we needed some actual past data from the countries so we could see how they change over the years. For this, we found two datasets in Kaggle that show us exactly what we wanted, and you might guess it, one about fertility rate and one about this education rate. We then merged them together, matching the years, and then started the whole pre-processing thing using pandas, together with making the dataset range from the year 1970 to 2017, since it was the data provided in both datasets. After that, we focused on getting this pre-processed data, training and feeding a model that will be used to predict future values using Facebook Profit that I mentioned earlier. We then, after feeding, training, and evaluating this model using performance metrics and MSE, which are also provided by Facebook Profit, reached a final model that was accurate on finding out the next fertility and education rates in the countries and years. Since the dataset only has data until 2017, we decided to finally use the model to predict the values we already have for 2018 to 2021, to compare the given values to the real-life values, and also to use the model for further years as well, to predict from 2022 to 2024. Moving on to the completed objective, we have our demo, our website that follows the first thing we ever wanted to do in this project. It was developed for anyone who has curiosity in seeing predictions for future fertility and schooling values for a country. As you can see the screen right now, we have the project idea right at the front so people can really understand what this website is about and how it can provide useful information. But now, let's give you an example with the app. Let's see on the left bar and then check on the box. Let's now select a country of our choice. Let's then see how the graph is provided for us. The data visualized here is the one we already have together with the predictions for 2023 and 2024. And we can also infer how it grows or shrinks in comparison to previous years. Clicking on the All Countries button, we can also see the values for all countries in here, showing the differences the countries have to one another, and can show how a country will develop depending on the numbers as well. Something we will also like to warn you about is that the website can be improved with multiple things, such as more data, more graphs, and more pages for more comparisons as well. We still want to keep adding features in the future, so it keeps getting improved and improved throughout time. Feel free to mess around in this website. We hope that it helps people who want to know this kind of information. Thank you for watching.
Let's welcome Pedro, Fernando, and Michel, who created a product that provides insights on factors that influence economic growth using historical data of renewable energy adoption.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. Before I start, I just want to thank my teammates, which is Pedro and Michel. And also want to thank the TAs and teachers, especially Tachi, Super Tachi, and Lucas. But let's go for it. So today I would like to talk about the impact of renewable energy adoption on GDP of a country. As we all know, the world's currently facing a critical issue, which is the energy crisis. And this crisis has significant environmental, economic, and political implications. To address this issue, there's been a shift towards renewable energy sources. But we must also consider the importance of economic growth, which is just as critical as sustainable practices. So the question in this case is, how does the renewable energy adoption affect the GDP? Our analysis aims to understand the correlation between renewable energy production and GDP per capita. And for that, we used a regression model, or more specifically, a ridge and polynomial features model, which is basically a model that uses mathematical techniques to make predictions based on more complex relationships between two or more variables. And for that, we developed an app. So let's have a look at the app that will revolutionize the world. So you can use this app to explore this topic further. And the app also allows you to input data to see how renewable energy adoption affects the GDP. Let's start with the data exploration page. In this data, you can basically explore the data set visually. So for example, below, if you see, you can change the countries that you want to explore. And also you can change the energy source. So for this example, we are going to see the evolution of the plot. Let's check a little bit below. We are having a technical issue, which has been fixed. So we're just seeing the evolution of the coal electricity production per capita. So in this example, we see that Australia, United States, Canada, they tend to produce less and less electrical energy per capita. And on the other hand, China, on the purple line, is producing more and more. So this is interesting and can be investigated further. Just a bit down below, we see a very similar plot, which is the real GDP per capita. So we can, again, select the country, and we can see the evolution of the GDP. An interesting pattern is how the coronavirus affected the GDP. So we see clearly this pattern there. And just down below, we also have two more plots, which shows the top renewable electricity production per capita and the top non-renewable electricity production per capita. But let's have a look at the scenario comparison, which is basically a hypothetical scenario, which allows you to compare the impact of each energy source on the GDP as a percentage difference. So if we scroll down a little bit, we can see a slider. What is this slider exactly? The slider is basically the total amount of energy a country produces in 1 year. And how do I choose this value based on this experiment we are doing? We're going to use this table below. So you can hover over the countries, and you can see how much each country produced of energy in 1 year. Let's say in this case, Brazil, for example. Brazil produced 2,800 kilowatt hours of energy in 2020. So let's select approximately this value, which affects the final result. So this is something also interesting. And here we have the two scenarios, scenario 1 and scenario 2. So as you can see, they're exactly the same right now because we are making a comparison. If you sum the numbers up in scenario 1, we will have 100%, just like in scenario 2. So both scenarios are equal. So let's say that Brazil wants to invest 1% less in coal, take this money and put in solar energy. Let's see how this affects the GDP. So after we make this change, we see that the second scenario would represent a GDP increase of 3.9% per capita, greater than the first scenario. Now let's do the opposites. Let's first reset the comparison, and let's now increase the gas by 2% and decrease the biofuel by 2%. So we have 100% overall. So now we see that the first scenario represents a GDP per capita of 4.1% over the second scenario, which means that if you invest in non-renewable energy, this will impact negatively the GDP. So despite this beautiful result, guys, there are limitations to our analysis, like everything and every model, I guess, and further research is needed to fully understand this complex relationship between renewable energy and GDP. And so in our model, we only used energy features to predict the GDP, and we know that tens, maybe hundreds of factors affect the GDP, and as a consequence, it increases the error in the prediction. But on the other hand, it favors the understanding of how energy feature affects the GDP. So in conclusion, renewable energy adoption is crucial for economic development and growth, and our analysis provides evidence of a positive correlation between renewable energy adoption and GDP. And we hope that this research will encourage more investment in renewable energy sources to, of course, change the world. Thank you, guys.
right, and for the last data product, please welcome Sebastian, Alessandra, Josée, who built Cinemark's a product that recommends movies based on their emotional arc.
Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Hussein. Together with Sebastian and Alessandra, we're excited to introduce Cinemark. When it comes to choosing a movie to watch, we understand the struggle of being a picky viewer. With countless options available, it can be a daunting task to find a movie that truly captivates you. Hours could be spent on searching, hoping to discover a movie that lives up to your expectations. It would be amazing if you could know about a movie without having it spoiled for you, right? Well, in theory, it is possible. Over the years, scholars and screenwriters like Kirk Vonnegut have delved into the study of storytelling. Kirk proposed 6 different emotional arcs to describe a variety of stories out there. We are wondering if we can visualize the arcs for different movies and use them to find other similar ones. And now we're proud to introduce our latest creation, Cinemark. With Cinemark, we've harnessed the power of machine learning and sentiment analysis to turn this concept into reality. Cinemark identifies the movie's emotional arc, categorizes it, and suggests similar movies. Unlike the conventional recommendation system that are mostly based on genres and our other users' preferences, our recommendations are based on the story emotional development of the movie. Gone are the days of endlessly searching for a movie similar to the one that you absolutely love. With that, allow me to introduce Sebastian, who will walk you through the exciting journey of creating Cinemark. Sebastian, the stage is yours.
Thanks, Hussein. So, visualize movie arcs. How did we achieve that? Just starting from a movie script, we were able to extract the sentiment of the text using natural language processing. The model we used is Vader. It's very powerful for this kind of task. Then we visualize the sentiment progression of the movie on a graph. We apply moving average to get rid of the noise and extract the trend of the story. The result is an emotional arc for each of our 3,000 movies. Once we add our movie arcs, we use them to find the main story shapes. We applied some pre-processing steps, such as reduce the number of data points per arc, standardize them, and run a PCA. The model we selected for this task is K-means, very good for clustering, and the result is those 6 main arcs. We can see very simple story shapes, and they match pretty closely Vonnegut's arcs. Last step, how can we use story arcs to recommend movies with similar stories? We computed the similarity between a movie arc and all the arcs in our database using cosine similarity. We also did the same with the genres, and our recommendation is the top 6 movie following the same story development and having similar genres. At this point, you're probably curious to see the arcs of some movie you know, so let's take a look with Alessandra.
Thanks, Sebastian. So let's take a look at our app. One of my favorite movies of all times is Titanic. And let's be real, there was definitely enough space for both of them in the blank, and no one can convince me of anything else. And who doesn't know Titanic? The classic movie of luxurious cruise ship in the 1910s, where Rose, a rich engaged woman, is really unhappy until she meets Jack, a poor guy who shows her how to have fun, and they live a great romance. But then everything goes wrong. Rapunzel finds out and gets Jack arrested. The ship hits an iceberg, so everyone's desperate trying to save their lives. The love couple manages to escape and find a plank to float, looking like they might make it until we find out that Jack actually died. The masterpiece is a great example of a riches to rags arc, an ongoing emotional fall. Because I love Titanic, I should also like Woman in Love and Pride and Prejudice, 2 love dramas with similar arcs, and The Pride and Prejudice is another one of my favorite movies. Yet, my absolute favorite type of movie is animation, like Aladdin from Disney, a classic from the 1990s. I watched it so many times as a kid that my mom hid it from me at some point just to get a break. The movie starts in the low, with Jasmine being forced to find a husband, Aladdin having to steal food to eat, and the villain Jafar willing to do anything to become a sultan. But Aladdin finds the lamp, meets the genie, gets 3 wishes, uses them to become a prince, goes on the famous magic carpet ride with Jasmine, they fall in love. And then Jafar gets the hold of the lamp, traps Jasmine, and tries to kill Aladdin. But don't worry, in the end, Jafar gets trapped in a lamp, the genie gets freed, and the couple lives happily ever after. The movie's ongoing emotional rise, therefore, rags to riches curve. As a fan of this movie, I did love The Red Turtle and Percy Jackson, other family-focused movies with similar arcs. We could go on analyzing the other 3,000 movies, going from Harry Potter to The Shining, but we leave that up to you to play with it. As future features, we would like to add other search methods like the archetype, improve the recommendation so it can be even more assertive, and mainly add the possibility to upload new scripts to get entire analysis of new movies, something we believe could be useful to the cinematic industry. Hope you enjoyed it, and here's a QR code so everyone can test it and have fun looking at their favorite movies. Thank you very much.
Congrats to both data science batches. You did an amazing job. And now we're going to be moving on to the web development projects. So the students from the web development curriculum had to imagine, design, prototype, define the tech spec, code, host their app online to show it to the world, and finally prepare their pitch for tonight. And I'm sure you're going to be very impressed with what they came up with. So up first, let's welcome Tech Trek, an app created by Latoya, Cameron, Andrew, Bertrand, and Peter, and it's an app that connects you with mentors, programs, and career services to help you reach tech opportunities.
Hi, everyone. My name is Latoya, and I want to work in tech. My career goal has always been to break into the tech field, and I got there, but I quickly realized that opportunities can be endless and somewhat overwhelming. And the reality is sometimes knowing where to start when you want to go to the next level is the hardest part. So I was introduced to a new app called Tech Trek, which is focused on mentorship for those in the technical field. Have you ever wanted to know how to prepare for your next technical interview? I know I have. Or how to go about learning a new skill when there are millions of resources out there. It can be a little bit overwhelming. And while my new best friend, ChatGPT, is super helpful, I would love to actually talk to a real person where I can actually get advice from or coaching and helping me take my career to the next level. Now, I know I want to get mentorship by someone in the cybersecurity field, but before I find someone in cyber, let me check out who's considered their top mentors. And right away, I see there are a lot of awesome mentors with a wide variety of skills. I only hope one day I can make it on this list. But because I really want to get mentorship from someone in cyber, I think I'm going to maybe check out who they have available with cyber experience. There seems to be a ton of great mentors with this skill set. So I'm going to check out a few profiles and see if any of them catch my eye. I'm really looking for someone that can help bridge my love for cyber and application development. And one profile that immediately catches my eye is Darla. Her title sounds very intriguing, so I want to check it out and see if she's a fit for what I'm looking for. Now, Darla has a lot of great experience. She works in application security, specifically focused on finding bugs and vulnerabilities. I love that she has a lot of awesome skills, such as Python, as well as cybersecurity. And she works for a lot of great companies like Microsoft. But I don't know if she's what I'm looking for. Besides, looking for bugs every day is not my favorite thing to do in applications. So I'm going to see who else I can find within the cybersecurity space that's maybe a little more aligned to what I'm looking for. So how about I check out someone with Python experience? And right away, I see that there's a bit of mentors to probably sift through. So at this point, I may need a little bit of help narrowing down what I'm looking for. So I'm going to see if Tech Trek can actually give me some guidance on maybe what I can match with for a mentorship. So I know that I'm looking for someone that has cybersecurity experience and knowledge, but also someone that knows Python because it's one of my favorite languages and it's pretty popular in the cyber field. But technical skills aside, I'm also looking for someone who can help me prepare for those interviews, as well as, if all goes well, negotiate that job offer. So let's see who I get matched with. And wow, I see I have a match with a mentor named James, who's exactly what I'm looking for. And not only did he match on my technical skills I was looking for, but also some of the non-technical ones, such as interviewing and offer negotiation, which are equally important for technical career progression. So let me check out his profile a bit and see if his skills are exactly what I'm looking for. And right away, I see that he has a lot of awesome skills. He's worked at some awesome companies like Google, which is where I want to work one day. And as well, he has a lot of skills that I wasn't even thinking about at the time, like JavaScript and other things like HTML. So let me see if he's available to meet. So I think I'm going to message James. And I really love that he has a lot of great experience. So, oh, and great. It looks like he is available to meet. So I think I'm going to book some time with James. And even though he has a lot of great skills, I think the primary purpose of our first meeting will be to discuss cybersecurity, so I can take my cybersecurity career to the next level. And hopefully I can book something with him that's super convenient for both him and I, because seeing his profile, he has such amazing experience. It definitely gives me confidence that I too can have a career similar to him one day with hard work as well as appropriate guidance and mentorship. And just like that, Tech Trek has made it so easy for me to connect with mentors that specialize in fields that maybe are not so common. But now I feel even more confident that I'm headed down a journey thanks to Tech Trek. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, if you're looking to connect with future members or musical collaborators, Bandit is made for you, and it was created by Robert, Emre, Arnaud, and Chris.
All right. All right. Hello, everybody. So my name is Chris, and I'm a huge jazz nerd. And I recently launched a jazz project called Fluctuating Manpower. I play the guitar in our group, but we are missing a drummer. I have no idea where we're going to find that drummer. We need to make sure he's in Montreal because we really want to have in-person jam sessions all together. I've been talking to everybody. I've been looking everywhere. I really don't know where I'm going to find this drummer. Until I heard of Bandit. So Bandit is a web platform that allows me to browse through other musicians' profiles, get an idea of where they're from, their bios, what instruments they play, the genres of music they're into. I could even look at other projects and consider joining forces on those other projects. So pretty cool. Let's put this to the test. Let me see if I could really find someone that plays the drums and is in Montreal. Okay, so that's not a good sign. We'll give it one more try. All right, now we got something. That's good. Okay, we got quite a few options actually. Okay, let's try Mathieu. Got a good feeling about him. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, okay. I just realized he's not into jazz music. That's a problem. Oh, he's a beginner on the drums too. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Let's try another one. All right, well, let's see if we can get to some more. Okay, okay, I mean, I see Robert's into jazz. I think I may have heard of him before. Let's try Robert. So, okay, definitely into jazz and blues. Oh, wait a second, he's God mode on drums. Okay, this guy could work. Okay, you know what, let me just double check. Let me check out his style a little bit. Yeah, not bad. Okay, let's check out a track here. Yeah. I think he's all right. I think he could work. Let me connect with him ASAP. All right, well, just sent off a request, so let's hope he wants to be my friend as well. All right, so looks like we're in. So we're gonna actually jump in and you know what? I'll send him a quick message, something like, "Hey Robert, happy you're able to connect on this thing. Checked out your music. You're like really good drummer. I actually launched a jazz project called Fluctuating Manpower. I wonder if you'd like to join. So, fingers crossed. Let's hope that Robert's going to be down. Okay, what did he say? Would love to join. Okay, great. So we're in. Awesome. So let me jump into my projects here. Okay, so I should mention I'm an artist. Like any good artist, I've got a lot of projects going on. In this case, I'm going to hone in on the Fluctuating Manpower project. Alrighty. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I add him to our project page. So I've got quite a few friends, but we're going to hone in on Robert here. Alrighty. So let's make sure that Robert's officially in the page, and he's in. Awesome. Alrighty, so you know what? Let me send him a quick message. Hey, Robert, welcome aboard. And I should mention, this project page is just a really good space where we could chat amongst each other, share inspiring videos and music. We could coordinate jam sessions and just really chat amongst each other. Okay, so I even see that the guys are online, so that's real cool. You know what? While I'm at it, you know what? I'll propose a jam session for this Saturday. See if everybody's down. So let's hope that everybody's going to be down to join that session. And I'll give them a couple seconds, and yeah, fingers crossed again. And okay, so they're pretty quick. Okay, so they're in certainly. Okay, awesome. Alrighty, so I just scheduled an in-person jam session for this Saturday. I just met a drummer from Montreal that we all hope is going to be a really good drummer, thanks to Bandit. Bandit is real cool.
Great job. Need to move somewhere? Then make sure to download Mapped, an app that helps you make an educated decision when choosing your next home. And it was created by Louis, Mark, Andy, and Taina.
Ready to go? All right. Would you guys like to hear how I plan on getting a year's free rent thanks to Mapped? Of course you would, right? So let me fill you in on the context. I'm in my second year of university in Montreal. My sister, Sophie, is going into her first year of university in Paris. And we were talking about the apartment search with our parents last night. It's struggling. It's not going great for her especially. So our parents proposed what must be the most barbaric deal you've ever heard a parent make. One of you can have free rent for a year if you prove to us that you can make a smarter decision on where to live than your sibling. Crazy, right? But I had two reasons to feel confident. First, Matt. Second, my sister's not the sharpest tool in the shed, so I felt pretty good about it. So right off the bat, I hit the map. And I'd used Map to actually plan out my move to Montreal the year prior. So I figured let's reuse the map since it's already got a lot of the points of interest and things in my life that I hold dear. So let's update it and make it more relevant to this year's apartment search. Right off the bat, I am no longer allowed in 12 Park Place Westmount, so we're going to take that out. All right? Details don't matter. Instead, we're going to add the two apartments I found on Kijiji last night. A huge one in Côte des Neiges for a very reasonable price, and a unbelievably expensive one in Griffintown. But that'll be my parents' problem, right? So okay, right off the bat, the new apartments appear, and I can already see that the Griffintown address is actually really close to the rock climbing gym I found last year. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited for that. But now we got to update our points of interest because obviously over the course of a year, your life changes. For example, I no longer need to go to the Loyola campus of Concordia because I'm no longer a first year. That's a huge win if you've ever had to do that. And then secondly, my boo is now Kevin's boo, so we're gonna remove both of them from the map and hopefully from my memory sometime soon, right? So now, taking a quick glance at the map, it looks like everything's pretty much centered around the mountain. So I'm pretty optimistic I'll be able to find a very reasonable apartment. But let's put some numbers up there and hit the compare page, because this is the coolest thing about Mapped, right? It gives you scores about where you're looking to live. And those scores are based on the time it will take to get to all of your points of interest, and it basically averages it out and spits out a score. Super helpful. And on top of that, it shows you the distance to each point of interest and the time it will take to get to each individual one. So I'm not a big walker, I'm not gonna lie, my feet get tired really fast. And Montreal roads and cycling, no. It also snows half the year, no idea why somebody would cycle. So we're just gonna look at public transit. It's how I got around in my first year, and it's probably how I'll get around this year, right? So right off the bat, the Stanley apartment looks pretty promising, right? What is that, 8 minutes from Concordia, where I'm gonna be spending most of my time? That's pretty fantastic. And the other one's looking all right, but going by the data, and the data doesn't lie, I'm gonna pitch the Stanley apartment to my parents tonight. And because I have Mapped, I'm feeling pretty confident it's gonna be a fun year, right? But don't forget, I have competition, all right? My sister. So she's moving to Paris, and let's map out her life with the 3 points of interest that we know she needs to have. So the first one is her school. She got into the top university in Paris, no idea how. She's going to law school, right? Weird. Anyways, the next one is her boyfriend, whose parents have a house very close to that university and happen to be very prominent lawyers in Paris. Coincidence? I don't know. And then lastly, we have to put in the Canadian Embassy, because you never know when you're going to have a Jason Bourne moment and you need to exit and flee from the authorities, right? You got to be safe rather than sorry. So once we put in all that information, we're basically going to pray to God that those are all spread wide across the city and she has no hope of finding an apartment that makes sense. Ah, darn. They're pretty much all right next to each other. That's the worst case scenario. Okay, so it looks like all she has to do to get a free year is put her apartment anywhere near those 3 dots. All right, it's not great. She texted me earlier where her apartment was going to be, or the address. So let's put it in and hope she's as dumb as I give her credit for. Where'd she go? Oh my God. Can you believe it? That's got to be at least 30 minutes from anything she wants to go to. But hold on, let's not be deceived by looks. Let's go to the compare page where we'll have numbers to back that up. Okay, she's not walking an hour. I know that for a fact. All right, and she'd rather be seen dead than sweaty, so she's not gonna cycle. And for public transit, let's see, that's her last hope. 26 minutes, there's no way. There's no way. I am getting a free year of transit, of rent, sorry. And in that free year, I'm gonna save a lot of money, and you know what I'm gonna do with it? I'm gonna fly to Paris 3 times, laugh in her face, eat a croissant, and come back. And I'm gonna be able to do that thanks to Mapped.
Right. Great job. Now, if you're not the best planner, don't worry, Uva is there for you. It's an app that helps you plan your trips, and it was created by William Danella, Etienne, and I'm missing one. Oh, and Florian. All right.
Hello everyone, my name is William, and my friend and I just came back from a vacation from Menorca, Spain, using this app called Uva for the first time to plan our entire trip. What I like about this app is there's a lot of popular activity, and what I hate about what I love doing. What I love doing is traveling, but what I hate the most is planning. And I struggle with putting hours and hours into research, but also hours and hours into research. And this is why I'm using UVA. And I want to know like what is there to do, the app is going to offer. So they have a feature called Explore. And wow, they have a lot of new activity like in Africa. But Africa is a little bit far, and I want to stick to something closer. And I actually always wanted to go to Silvestre, Iceland. So after doing a boot camp for 9 weeks, and I feel like I deserve to have some vacation. So I'm going to take a week to Silvestre and see what it has to offer. So there's horse riding, mountain biking, and diving. Diving sounds like actually sounds like a nice activity, and I always wanted to go diving. So I can dive between tectonic plates, clearest water, number 5 place best childhood choice. And the reviews are really not bad. It's 4 stars everywhere. So I think I'm gonna book this activity as a first day. For the second day, I think I'm gonna maybe be a little bit more relaxed, you know, go to the city, go have a bite, and just shop. But for the third day, I want to do something very cool, something crazy. And I know that in Iceland, there's a lot of volcano. So I want to do a volcano-related activity, and volcano tour caught my eye. But the pictures are a little bit intimidating. And I actually going to be inside a volcano, and there's nothing in the description that says about the safety measurement. So I think I'm gonna have a chat with the owner of the activity. Hi, is there any, is it safe? Was there any incident in the past? But yeah, we are professional, however, there is still risk of unexpected events. That doesn't sound really good. I think I'm gonna pass on that one, like, thank you. But I still wanna do something that's related to volcano, and luckily there's something called horse riding next to a volcano. It's right around the countryside, friendly horses. I like that. And it's still beside a volcano, and the review's not bad at all. So I'm gonna take this one for my third day. And for my last day, it's not gonna be a full day. I still need to go to the airport. So I'm gonna take a break and just go shop for souvenirs. And that's pretty much it. I really like my trip, so I'm gonna book it. $349. It's pretty cheap. And one of the crucial things that helped me choose all those activities was the reviews. So as a measure of good faith, I'm also going back on my previous trip and put some reviews. And I remember when I went to Menorca, the Cova was the best activity. So I'm gonna put 5 star, and it was incredible. And thanks to UVA, I get the chance to discover all the unique activities without even having to do any research, and this only took less than 5 minutes. So again, thank you, UVA, for making it possible to make planning and organizing a trip so easy. Thank you.
Now, did you know that you can improve your well-being with Day by Day, a journaling app that uses the AI to help you navigate your life challenges? And it was created by Pablo, Tom, Alexandre, and Emilie.
Hi, everyone. pretty close to happy hour, so I hope you're enjoying 2 more sessions. So my name is Pablo, and I've been journaling for a very long time. I enjoy journaling on my diary, and it actually helps me to clear my mind most of the time in the short term. The problem is that in the long term, it doesn't usually lead me to changing my behavior in order to address the challenges in my life, address the obstacles in my life. And this is when I met one of my friends who told me about Day by Day. And Day by Day is an amazing app that uses, a journaling app that uses AI technology to identify the common trends in your journal, provide obstacles that you're facing in your life, and then give you recommendations on how to solve these obstacles, which it was perfect for me at this time, because me and my beautiful partner over here, we just had a baby 2 years ago, and he's a toddler, and he's amazing, he's beautiful, but also can be a handful. So today is Friday, it's finally the week is done. And we've been going through, a lot of things this week. There's a lot of things in my mind. I want to try out Day by Day, and I want to talk about this one thing that was very difficult about today, is that daycare called me telling me that our baby toddler, Sasha, was sick. So I had to stop work. I had to go pick him up, and for anyone who has had a toddler sick in the home, it is draining, and you probably know this. So by the end of the day, I was completely exhausted, and I'm gonna, put this down in my journal, and I don't want to go to bed feeling all this stress, all this fatigue, So I'm curious to see how Day by Day can help me address this obstacle in my life, this difficulty that I went through. And it's pretty cool, because I realize that it's taking the entry that I just wrote about Sasha being sick, and it is generating an obstacle card, identifying it, and I'm curious to see what recommendations I'm going to get by Day in order to navigate this difficulty better. Wow, okay, so reframing, that's very interesting. I haven't thought about that. Looking at the positive of this difficult situation. Showing compassion for Sasha because he was sick. Showing compassion for myself, which I sometimes forget to do. And this is all, thanks to Day by Day, is helping me see the situation from a different perspective. Now, just reading this, I feel already so much better, right? It's giving me the potential to navigate this challenge. And I remember that not everything was bad today. I had forgotten it, but at the end of the day, something great happened, and that's Carland, my partner, came in with an amazing box of sushi takeout. And I love sushi, especially the spicy dragon roll, which is there was a bunch of that, and she did it, and it was a great way to wrap up the day. I was exhausted, but this was a very nice, comforting situation to be in. So yeah, this was very nice to have, and once she provided me with this, we can go to the journal. Yes, so we had a little glitch, but it's okay. So we're going to try it again. And it was basically, this amazing experience that provided Carland. And what you're going to see, which is going to be pretty cool when you see it, is that the entry was detected as something positive, as something good. And now this caught my eye, my daily gratefulness statement. And it's cool because I've heard about gratefulness and how it's important to recognize and be grateful for the things that we have. And here I am happy to see that Day by Day took what I wrote and created this gratefulness statement, and I can access it whenever I want. Now 3 months go by, time goes by, and I've been using the app all the time, Day by Day. I love it. I love writing my entries. I love checking out the obstacles and the recommendations, and particularly recently I've been writing a lot about how Sasha, we're going through a hard time because he's learning how to sleep in his own bed and stop sleeping in the crib, but he gets out all the time. He wakes us up, we're exhausted, we're trying to teaching him, we're honestly depleted. So throughout this time I've been writing on my journal, and I've been investigating or checking out the obstacle and the recommendations that I get from the obstacle, right? And look at this, reframing, it's great I haven't thought about it. Again, it's a difficult challenge, yes, but I'm teaching Sasha, my son, how to be autonomous, how to be independent. And these are things that I could probably forget. And showing compassion also for Sasha, because he's going through a difficult time, just as we are. So reframing that perspective, seeing it from compassion is helping me. Feeling emotions as well. It's not just about disconnecting with Netflix at the end of the day, but also the app is reminding me to take my time, to feel the frustration, to allow myself to be angry and not try to run away from that. Now, today, Sasha still has a hard time sleeping by himself, but thanks to the recommendations, I am more present, I am more available for him, I have more patience, and that's the kind of father that I want to be. So I'm going to mark this as resolved, this obstacle as resolved, and although I have many obstacles resolved, I have many more obstacles that I want to, go forward with and navigate, but I know that day by day has my back. It wasn't us who wrote this. So right before I go, something catches my eye, and it's this gratefulness statement. It was just something I wrote about a month ago when Sasha was putting on his shoes by himself, and I was so proud of him, and I felt so lucky to be his dad. And I love to see how day by day is providing me with these nuggets of beautiful memories of my life that otherwise I would forget. So all in all, I do have a lot of challenges and obstacles ahead in my life, but I know that with day by day is going to help me gain different perspective and insight and clarity, and also remind me of all the things I can be grateful for and change my life accordingly. Thank you so much.
And last but not least, let's welcome Kirsten, Antoine, Sophia, Kat, and Doa, who created Front Row, a social platform for content growers who want to connect and share their experiences with other fans.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Kirsten. So the first thing you need to know about me is that I love concerts, and I go to a lot of them. I actually went to one just the other night. It was amazing. The band was on fire. The crowd was... Okay, sorry. Hold on. Wait a second. My friends back in Vancouver, they're always telling me that I bore them about telling them about concerts that they never went to, they don't care about, and I'm not going to do that to you either, I promise. So instead, they actually suggested that I use this app called Front Row. And some personal news about me is that I actually just moved to Montreal a few months ago. So the past few shows that I've been going to, I've actually been going to alone, which has been a little bit sad, a little bit lonely. So hopefully by using Front Row, not only do I get to connect with other people who love live music as much as I do, but, fingers crossed, hopefully I find somebody to go to a show with. So let's talk about the show the other night. I know I said I wouldn't, but I'm going to. It was a band called Tegan and Sarah. I saw them at this venue just here in Montreal. Oh, it was amazing. It was such a good show. And okay, so it looks actually like there was a few other people, a lot of other fans that went to the show as well, which is awesome. It was a sold-out crowd. And okay, that is a really good picture, actually. That reminds me, I actually took a really nice photo at the show too, and I'd love to share it with everybody. So, the show. Oh, it was the best show ever. The set list was incredible. It was non-stop hits. They played my favorite song, which I was so excited about. The crowd was on fire. They were singing. They were dancing. It was so much fun. And the photo that I took, so it was during the encore. It was the only photo. I almost forgot to take one. And it was really exciting. So that looks awesome. I hope other people like it, but I think we should check out the other reviews that are there. So Antoine, amazeballs. Okay, clearly he loved the show as much as I did. That's awesome. Oh, everyone really loved the show. Okay, wait. Somebody mentioned Nickelback. That's a bit strange. Okay, let's see a little bit about this. Yeah, okay, so it looks like Sophia likes to stir up some controversy up in her comments and her reviews. There's that Antoine guy. Again, yeah, I agree with him. He's pretty funny, actually. But Sophia, I feel like I gotta know more about her, what her deal is, and if she actually does really like Nickelback more than Tegan and Sarah. But okay, looks like she's really popular, actually. She's got quite a few followers, so it looks like maybe people really like her controversial opinions. So do I, actually. I really like seeing people argue in the comments, so I got to know more about her and what she does next. So not only that, I have a lot of upcoming shows that I'm really excited about. The one show in particular, though, is Bruce Springsteen. I've been waiting years to see him, and he's currently on this big world tour, and I get to see him in November, and I'm just so excited about it. And, okay, there's 157 days left. That is going to feel like an eternity. I know it's going to be worth it. And, oh, hold on a second. Kat. I actually know Kat. I just met her last week at school. That's so cool. I had no idea we had the same taste in music. Oh, she was at the Tegan and Sarah show, too. Okay, that's awesome. You know what? I feel like I should reach out to her, because I always love meeting new people who like the same music as me. And, you know, again, fingers crossed, maybe Kat will be my next concert buddy. Oh, she mentioned there's an upcoming Tool concert. Okay, that's awesome. I actually had no idea that they were coming to town. So obviously I'm going. Hopefully Kat's okay with me tagging along, and, you know, we can go to the show together. So I'm going to spend the rest of my night finding all the other upcoming shows so I don't miss a thing. And let's be real. If you love live music, but you're not on front row, are you even a real fan? I don't know. Thank you for your time.
All right, congratulations, everyone. You've officially graduated from Le Wagon. I want to congratulate all of you who are here on campus, but also those who joined us remotely from Brazil, the US, and many other places. So again, congratulations. Let's have a huge round of applause. Of course, none of this would have been possible without the amazing Le Wagon staff, so big thanks to the Le Wagon team who worked so hard in the background to make sure you had the best boot camp ever. A big thanks to all of the teachers and TAs for sharing your passion. You've been there for the students since day one, and none of this would have been possible without you, so thank you. And also, thank you to our volunteers for helping us out tonight. So before we move on to the next part of the evening, we do have some boot camps coming up. So if you're interested to join, we have a full-time web development boot camp starting July 10th in English. We have 3 boot camps starting July 8th, 2 part-time in web development in English and in French, and 1 part-time data science in English. We have a full-time data science boot camp starting October 16th, and a full-time data analytics boot camp starting October 16th as well. So we also have some more events coming up. So next Monday, we have a workshop with Google on data engineering. It's online at 1 p.m. and there's going to be a live demo of Google Cloud. On Tuesday, we have how to create great pull requests with Qmogene solutions. It's going to be online also at 1 p.m. We also have a career series with Sebastian Castiel, who is a freelance developer and is going to be giving some tips if you want to get started in freelancing. He's also a teacher here at Le Wagon. And you can, of course, follow us on all of our social media. And if you're interested in any of our events, I invite you to follow our meetup page. It's called Le Wagon Montreal. That way you can be kept updated. Again, congratulations, everyone. Let's have another huge round of applause for all the students here. Tonight, you all deserve to celebrate, and then I'll see you all on Monday to look towards the future and to help you with the next steps. Thank you for those of you who joined us online. Have a great night from Le Wagon.